obstacles and serene setting fool you. Today will be loud, challenging, and intense. Every inch of the track, so important. And variety in NASCAR has been the choice so far, with Toyota, Ford, and Chevy, each in victory lane. Whose turn is it today? It's the fourth race of the season, and we welcome you to NASCAR on Fox, the pre-race show. Today, Bristol, Tennessee, the place for what will be the most compact collection of cars you've ever seen. And for these drivers, it could be NASCAR's version of heavy metal. Our remote studio on the scene to bring you closer to the drivers and the action. Rain this morning, a chance for rain later today, but we're ready to race and rock and roll. Happy St. Patrick's Day, along with Hall of Famer Darrell Waltrip, Chris Myers, Michael Waltrip along in just a moment. And Darrell, you've won here 12 times, including 7 in a row. Which driver exhibits the skill set that made you so successful here?
You know, what makes you good here, Chris, is attitude. You ask any coach, he'll tell you, give me a player with attitude over anything else, and he'll win me a lot of games. You got to have attitude. You got to pick your fights, and then you got to have time-released aggression. You bottle it up, and then you let it loose when the time comes.
500 laps, a lot for timed release aggression. Let's check out some of the storylines for today for Joe Gibbs Racing. An eventful week. Matt Kenseth won in Vegas. Denny Hamlin dropped his appeal, but funds will be deducted. Stewart-Haas Racing starting in a hole. Tony Stewart currently at 18th place. And this week, Forbes magazine named Hendrick Motorsports NASCAR's most valuable franchise, with 4 of the top 10 highest paid drivers. Dale Earnhardt Jr. at near $29 million, half of that coming through endorsements. But Joe Gibbs Racing moved up to second on that list. Surprise you?
You know why?
Why?
Matt Kenseth. Matt Kenseth came over to Gibbs, and if you notice, Gibbs leapfrogged Roush Fenway. And Matt Kenseth brought sponsorship, and he brought a winning attitude. He's a champion, and that really elevated that whole Joe Gibbs Racing team.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch looking up to him during winter testing. They were hanging on his every word about how to handle this new car. And speaking of Kyle Busch, he set a Bristol qualifying record here, just under 130 miles per hour, so he starts on the pole today. And so far, 3 different style tracks, 3 different manufacturer wins. But today, the Gen 6 car gets its first taste of the short track. And the last Bristol race under the lights had the new reconfiguration. There was some fireworks from drivers afterwards. We always talk about that. They've been more under control, some of that timed release aggression you're talking about. But let's talk about the Gen 6 car. We've already had more lead changes this year in the first 3 races compared to last year. But you've been saying on this track, you think it's a good fit.
Yeah, well, I've always said there's horses for courses. And the way this car is built, with the downforce it has, the big rear blade, the horsepower it has, the grip you get in this racetrack, this is a race I'd love to get out there and run some laps. This car is just so appealing to me, and I think we're going to see a great race today. This thing sticks like a spider monkey. It sticks to the track so tight.
On a vital seat on a hot day. All right,
there you go.
Let's check in with Michael, who's roaming around.
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Man, guys, I'm hanging down here with the drivers at driver introduction. Let's talk to a few of them and see what's going on. Here's Jimmy Johnson, 5-time champion, driving a Gen 6 car, and you got your beautiful daughter with you.
I do, buddy. Good to see you. I mean, you're almost buttoned up. You still have sneakers on, though.
Well, I pulled it off pretty much, but I'm a reporter, so I'm going to be on the move, getting the stories. And what's the story today? What do you think we're going to see?
Good racing. I think it's going to be very, very good racing, but I can't get out of my mind how you tried to tear down the wall off of turn 2 years back. That was big.
My brother has a grandstand named after him. I got a gate named after me. So, okay.
Take it away.
Have fun.
Thank you. You too.
Who can we find now? You're Tony Stewart. Hi, I'm Michael Waltrip, reporter. How's it going? You're starting in the top 10. How do you feel about today?
I'm excited about it. It's nice. I told Addington, I said, this is going to be the first time in a long time that I've actually watched the flagman drop the green flag. Normally I'm in turn 4 or 3 still when they're dropping it. But I think we're pretty decent. I mean, We had a little bit of work to do, and the biggest thing, I got a wounded crew chief today who's sick with whatever bug's going around this week, so he's down, but we got a great team, and I'm pretty excited about our starting spot.
Who's playing my ears?
That'd be your twin brother.
Hey, Kyle, what's happening? You ready today?
I'm all good. How about you, Mikey?
That was fun to watch yesterday. Great run. You were dominant, and you edged him at the end. That was fun for us fans to watch.
Well, I'm glad. You know, I certainly didn't want to make it seem that close, but I'm glad that it was a good show at the end. You know, we had a lot of fun yesterday with the Monster Energy Camry, but on to today, where I think the M&M's Camry is pretty good. So Dave and the guys done a good job, and we'll see what 500 laps has in store for us here at Bristol.
This car is so fast. Are you worried physically that it'll wear you down with all the speed that you got?
Hopefully it wears everybody else down.
You can stay even with them. All right, thanks for your time. Who else could we find here? There goes Carl. Hey, Carl, how you doing?
Find all the kids.
Well,
You can find all the kids in here. It's like kids intros nowadays instead of driver intros.
I like what you're thinking. Hey, you're pretty. Where are you starting?
On the front row, of course.
Oh, Chris, let's throw it back to you. I'm getting carried away down here.
You certainly are, Michael. Drivers get to pick their own songs to be introduced to. There's Jimmy with Gimme 3 Steps is his song. He'll take that on a restart. We're counting it out to the start of the race here in Bristol, and here's what's ahead of you. Stay with us. Casey Kane's perspective on what he could have done differently to win last week. And then we're going to hear from the guy who got the checkered flag, Matt Kenseth, hoping for a victory here in Thunder Valley. And we'll take a look at the latest internet sensations, including Jeff Gordon's test drive. Real or fake, we'll let you decide.
All that and more as the NASCAR on Fox pre-race show rolls on.
Caution, caution.
Hey, what the heck are you doing, buddy? You could get killed.
My wife's running for school board, and there's a debate in an hour.
Why didn't you say so?
Guys, we got a school board emergency.
My mom was a member of the school board.
Buckle up.
Wait a minute. I can win this thing just by driving sensibly. Aw, nuts.
Or lug nuts. Casey Kane is not just a cartoon character on Cleveland, although you can see that tonight on Fox. He's also, as you know, a real-life driver who will start today's race on the front row. And you can also follow Kane in NASCAR The Game Inside Line. It's where you can relive all the best moments from the 2013 season and then download the Las Vegas content pack, and you can rewrite the finish of that race. And you know a Las Vegas rewrite is exactly what Kane has in mind.
Casey Kane coming like yesterday's train. He is within 2 car lengths of the leader.
The 5 just gets better and better, and able to chase down just about anybody he's had to.
So 5 to go, I started getting a little bit closer to him. As we're catching these lap cars here, I know Matt was yelling on the radio to get him low.
Get him out of the way, please. Get him down, down, down.
I'm just hoping they stay high. I thought if he'd have to change up his line, I could get a run on him and at least get beside him.
Kenseth had to lift to choose a lane to get past Wise, and Kane is there.
I drove into the corner a little too hard and gave up a little speed on exits. He got off the corner pretty good.
Kenseth laying down some fast laps.
Biggest thing I felt like Matt did is he kept his momentum up.
You're not going to just drive around Matt Kenseth.
The 2 of us were just giving it all we had.
These 2 guys here are putting on a show, buddy.
He did everything right, and I did all that I could, and wasn't able to get by him.
Light the candles, happy birthday.
You know, if I could have got by him, I would have left him.
NASCAR The Game Inside Line. It's so real life. It's like you're in there with the driver. You get to be the driver. And back joining us here after rubbing elbows with the drivers. Michael, nice to have you back. You saw Casey Kane down there a little bit earlier. What do you think about him today on the front row?
I think he's hungry. You get that close to winning a race in NASCAR with the fastest car, you just can't get around that guy. Leaves you wanting more.
What I love is what he said. He said, I drove every lap as hard as I could go. And there at the end, I think he actually overdrove the corner a couple of times, but he was giving it all he had, and that's all you can do.
19th race in Bristol for Kane, and second, his best finish so far. Fox Sports, proud to team with Feeding America, a nationwide network of food banks, helping to feed more than 37 million people in America through pantries, soup kitchens, and shelters each year. Visit feedingamerica.org/Fox Sports and learn how you can help fight hunger in your community. Together, we're feeding America. Glad you're watching NASCAR on Fox from Bristol, Tennessee. We have a lot more to come, including Gas and Go, and we'll hear from the driver from last week. Stay with us. last week, Matt Kenseth's team worked behind the scenes to get him to victory lane.
Help with these guys. Get them out of the way. Get them down, down, down.
See, he's got to even tell his spotter, here's what I need, man. Come on, help me.
Get them out of the way, please.
I got it, buddy. Bring it to the line here. Clear by 3.
Light the candles. Happy birthday, Matt Kenseth.
A job change at 40 can be unsettling, but former NASCAR champ Matt Kenseth showed you how to do it. After 13 years in one place with Ford, he switched this season over to Toyota. And in his third race and on his 41st birthday, he hit the jackpot in Las Vegas. Today, he'll lean on his Bristol experience.
Matt Kenseth looked really good.
Happy birthday, Matt Kenseth.
Matt Kenseth wins at Bristol. Can Matt Kenseth make it 2 in a row?
Matt Kenseth, you said it was important to get off to a quick start with your new teammates at Joe Gibbs Racing. You got the win. Can you back it up here, a place where you've had success?
Well, I hope we can get a good run today. All the Joe Gibbs Racing Camrys have been really fast. We seem to struggle a little bit on a longer run, so hopefully we made the right changes today for the weather conditions, and hopefully we can be up front somewhere.
Do you like Bristol? Is racing here a mindset?
I do really like Bristol. I really like the whole start of the season. You go to 5 tracks that are really, really different before the first off weekend, and kind of get a feel kind of where you're at and what you need to work on and that type of thing. So I'm looking forward to going racing.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Thanks, Matt and Steve. 3 times Matt Kenseth has won back-to-back races. A chance today.
Yeah, it is. But you know what I liked about last week? He was playing offense and defense. I mean, that's hard to do at 200 miles an hour.
What I loved, he was a man on a mission. He came out of the gate with Joe Gibbs Racing saying, I've got to win races. I got to put this team in victory lane. Didn't take him long to do it either.
And he's got guys with him. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin want to follow his lead. Former NASCAR champion. Coming up as we count you down to the start of the race, Jeff Gordon, like you've never seen him before. Is it real or is it fake? You'll get to judge firsthand. Denny Hamlin, a proud new dad. In Bristol, drivers have introduced the song of their choice since the summer of 2009. Kind of a cool thing here. The introduction of the exciting new Gen 6 car has led to plenty of chatter from traditional media.